Welcome guys, today's Astrological Horoscope for Monday, November 19th. How you guys doing? How's it been going? We just had a loaded weekend, didn't we? Like, we had a very powerful weekend. And now we're going to be seeing how we can take that energy that just activated and look forward to into the next 2 weeks of what we will be experiencing. So for today, we're going to go ahead and talk about Monday, November 19th. What do we got going on today? Hey, what's it going, guys? I know you guys love the cam. First off, I want to show you guys this cameras, right? This new horoscope circle that I will be using. I think it's a little easier to see what is actually happening. You can see all the signs around it much more clearly. As well as just cutting down a lot of the aspects that were shown on the screen, so that I don't have to go around and actually go in and coloring them and stuff. So with that said, let's talk about what happened. So Saturday we had the big new moon, big scorpionic energy. We had ascendant, moon, sun, all within 1 degree. We had a bunch of different aspects were giving us a lot of energy, desires, going towards the passions we wanted to achieve and strive for. And honestly, that day was the catalyst for change. That was the day that was like, boom, you know what? Things can't stay the same as they were before, and change needs to be initiated. So let's see how that goes forward. Now, obviously, I didn't do a Sunday cast. I didn't really feel the need for it. Sunday was really still a big change of what, or a lot of the same things that Saturday pretty much started. However, when you pair Sunday with Monday, it makes a lot more sense. And I'll talk to you in a second why. So let's see here. Let's take our little circle around and let's make it a little bit darker. There we go. You'll see that the moon is now officially in Sagittarius, right? So the moon was originally full moon all the way over, or new moon all the way over here with the sun, and now has progressed to Sagittarius. Moon in Sagittarius is really about kind of like opening our eyes to the bigger picture of what needs to occur. So remember, Saturday, change needs to happen, right? Tower situation, change moving forward. Following the next day is seeing up the bigger picture of what needs to be changed, right? Because remember, the next 2 weeks is when the changes are going to be working, and then on the full moon we'll be able to harvest those changes. So Sagittarius is all about seeing the big picture. It's the big aha. So that's what needs to change, that's what needs to transform, that's what needs to die, and that's what needs to be rebirth. So Scorpio and Sagittarius, you're becoming aware of what needs to change, what's the big aha moment, and you're literally killing it, you're slaying it. It's dead, it's gone. So before the moon leaves Sagittarius, it will become aware of what the changes are and just remove them, take them out. Pa. Also, we have some lovely sliced apples from my beautiful stall. So by the end of Monday, you should become very aware of what it is that's happening in your life. What are those changes that need to occur? And we're not quite doing them quite yet, but becoming aware of them, and the awareness of it will allow us to proceed forward. Now, between all of this, we also have the moon getting very close to Saturn, which is reminding us that there are things that need to be done to be able to achieve the rewards that we spoke of about the new moon, right? So again, the rewards are on the full moon. As the moon is transiting through Saturn, it's going to be one of those big reminders. This is a lesson that you need to go through. This is a period of time that you need to address. These are the things, the objectives, the goal marks, the benchmarks of what need to occur during these 2-week cycle. So Saturn here is already giving you the advance warning, if you will, and is it's setting you up for the several days to come. Now, there's there's a couple other aspects that are occurring at the moment here. So we have Venus here in Scorpio, and she's at 16 degrees, so she's already halfway through Scorpio, which is great because, you know, Venus wasn't feeling all that comfortable in Scorpio to begin with. And like Mars, they will now both be transitioning out of the sign, which is great. They don't like being in the signs they're in, and they need out. Interestingly enough, though, Venus is officially going to be squaring North Node. This is important, and this is as important as we lead up to Wednesday, because Wednesday is going to be the big day. But, you know, North Node right now, or Venus squaring North Node, is really about, you know, those relationships we were talking about. You know, new moon, it's not a time to start relationships. I truly, despite what everybody else may say, I truly don't believe that the Scorpionic new moon is a time to be starting new relationships. However, it is a good time to reevaluate our relationships. And the reason I say that is because, you know, Venus in Scorpio is all about not so much giving as much as taking. So remember, Scorpio is about our desires, what we want. Venus there is getting more than she's giving. So that's kind of bad. You know, a lot of these imbalances need to be addressed. And it's going to become even more obvious as this sextile to Mars here is occurring. So this tiny little blue line that is connecting the two of them together. You know, this is going to be a lot about putting your own energy as you move forward to ensure that the changes that you want to see happen are actually going to take place. So definitely a lot of you putting in the effort as you're going into Scorpio, putting in the effort so that you are doing things that are aligned with your North Node, that you're passionate about, that are, you know, the things you're supposed to be doing in life, essentially. And if there are people you're not supposed to be with in life, you know, there are changes that need to be made, is what this aspect is really kind of talking about. And the squares is going to really be exposing you to, you know, the type of relationships that you want to be pursuing, as opposed to the relationships that you were desiring. So, for example, you know, you might desire a certain type of relationship. You know it's an unhealthy relationship. You know it's not good. Right? As opposed to North Node is going to be telling you these are the type of relationships you should be having. You know, this is in balance. This is not. So it's going to be a lot of like kind of eye-opening and kind of really showing you what's a healthy relationship, what's not a healthy relationship. And you're going to be taking that energy moving forward so that when the new moon in Sagittarius comes, then you can start with good relationships at that time. Because by then, Venus will be in Sag. And Venus in Sag is lit. I'll be explaining that a little bit later as that transition occurs. But definitely you want to be right now evaluating a lot of your relationships and figuring out for yourself internally what's healthy and what's not healthy. Now, if you think that, you know, this is some game and like Niwa, no, you can't be serious, right? Why is this square so important? Like, why is Venus squaring North Node all about reevaluating relationships? That doesn't make sense. Well, keep in mind that the North Node is also in conjunct with Pluto, the green line. You know, this is all about learning. Green lines are all about learning. The red lines are about challenges. So right now, it's overcoming the challenges in relationships, going down the path you're supposed to be going, and then learning to transform them with the energies of Pluto. So you're here to realize what problems you have with relationships, to learn how to overcome them and go onto the correct path so that you can return back onto a positive path, the sextile happening between Pluto and Venus. However, this is only a sextile and this is not a trine. So the difference are, you can see that the sextile is, you know, a little blue line, whereas a trine is a really long blue line. Simple explanation. I'll make a video talking more about the differences and how they kind of relate and are not exactly the same, but close to. But for now, just keep in mind that the short blue line is really about initiations that need to be made by yourself. These are not things that are going to happen in life. You know, a lot of people kind of talk about whether do we have free will, do we not have free will, do things just occur and we have to like live through them. I would say that trines are kind of more like that. Trines are more like experiences that eventually you will just run into and like, oh crap, now I gotta like solve this problem. Whereas a sextile is more of a something that you need to put effort into, something that you need to go and initiate. This is an opportunity for you to make something happen. So right now we have a tricolor between those three signs, right? You know, figuring out what our problems are, learning how to solve them, and putting our effort to transform them. It's very powerful, and this is going to be very meaningful as we get to Wednesday, as you'll see. So keep this in mind because it's going to be important. And you know, right now we still have that square between Pluto and Mars, right? You know, it's about learning how to initiate actions. You know, Mars is tired of being in Libra. It wants to hurry up and reach Scorpio. And it's struggling to regain its strength. It may not be the most confident right now, but it's still picking up its sword and moving forward, you know. Mars, I feel like, is Mulan, and Pluto is the dude who's like beating Mulan and telling her, I'll make a man out of you. And like, Mars is really trying to get through that hump, but knows that once it reaches the top of the pole, that's it. It's done. It's made it. It's proved its effort and said, I can fucking do this. I have the strength to make it happen, and it's gonna be beautiful. So, you know, I not gonna put copyright music, but just in your head sing that Mulan song of I'll make a man out of you. That's happening. That's what's happening to Mars right now. So yeah, that's really what is just kind of going on right now. Last thing I'll say is, you know, the sun is reaching the very end degrees of Scorpio. So we almost out of here. Gonna take this energy and move forward as we try to advance during the next 2 weeks. So yeah, hopefully that has helped you guys. I will be back tomorrow with the next lunar cycle as it moves into Capricorn, and there we begin to plant our seeds. So till then, I'll catch you guys later. Stay safe, stay positive, and I'll catch you guys on the next cast. Peace.